to be a part of the team that really takes Gardner into the next decade and beyond. First off, just going over some of our firm qualifications. McEnany, Van Cleve & Phillips, just to give you a brief introduction because you may not be familiar with our firm. It's been around since 1901. It's one of the oldest firms in Kansas. We are an AV-rated law firm, which is one of the things that your RFP had requested. We really have a couple of particular emphasis in our law firm. Even though we're a general practice law firm, there are two areas of law that we really, I think, have become recognized for. The first of which is workers' compensation law. And we have developed a practice where we now have 5 offices in 5 different states. We practice law in about 7 different states. But the other area of practice that we have particular emphasis in is our public sector practice group. And that is the folks that you see behind us. We also have about 3 other lawyers in that practice group who could not be here tonight. But that's pretty much all we do in the public sector practice group is represent municipalities, school districts, and other type of public entities. We've had that practice group ever since the inception of the firm. What the graphic I've put up for you here is some of the cities that we've represented over the course of the years, and presently we've represented over 25 different municipalities, and we've provided a list of those municipalities to you in your materials. We represent cities of all different classes in Kansas. You may not be familiar, or you may be familiar. There are 3 different classes of cities, all based upon population. We represent a number of cities of the 3rd class, which is the smallest size, a number of cities of the 2nd class, which is my understanding Gardner is still a member of, despite the fact that you've kind of eclipsed that 15,000 population level, which typically triggers people to move up to the cities of 1st class. And we have represented almost every city of 1st class within the state of Kansas, including the unified government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. Obviously, Mayor Reardon was the mayor of the unified government for a number of years, but that is a long-standing firm client going back several decades. City of Wichita, City of Topeka, City of Lawrence, really just about every large municipality we've done legal work for throughout the years. In addition to representing municipalities, we also represent and have represented school districts throughout the state of Kansas. And why that is relevant information for you all to consider is that many of the laws relating to school districts and municipalities are one and the same. For example, the Kansas Open Meetings Act, the Kansas Open Records Act, election laws, the Kansas Tort Claims Act, so anytime anyone sues anyone in state court for a tort claim, all of these acts are common and similarly apply to school districts as well as municipalities. We represent over 167 different school districts all throughout the state of Kansas, and this graphic shows where those school districts are located. Let me tell you a little bit about the folks behind me here and the experience of our public entity practice group. Darrell Wynn is presently an attorney with our public sector practice group who focuses primarily on education law. He acts as general counsel for several municipal entities, including the Kansas City, Kansas School District, as well as the Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Obviously, Joe Reardon, he actually started out his career with McEnany, Van Cleve & Phillips. Then he moved to the private sector before becoming an elected official. Joe has been a commissioner with the unified government for over 10 years. Obviously, that puts him in kind of a unique position as an attorney of sitting on that side of the dais and having that perspective and bringing that experience to bear with him to his provision of legal services. Joe also served 8 of those 10 years as the mayor and CEO of the unified government. Obviously, I'm sure you all know that's a unified city and county government, so it is a unique form of government in the state of Kansas, and he brings that experience. I think it's also worth noting that Joe brings experience relating to development projects, real estate development projects. KCK has obviously been very innovative in what they have done with respect to public-private partnerships, economic development incentives, tax increment financing, community improvement districts, industrial revenue bonds, things like that. Joe worked on those things every day when he was mayor of KCK, has a tremendous amount of familiarity with the laws relating to those statutes, in addition to the experience in our public law practice group on that topic. And Teresa is an associate with the firm. She worked at Kansas Legal Services before coming to work for us. She's kind of the boots on the ground person. She does a lot of the legwork on the research and things like that help the rest of us be able to come out and talk to all of you. Okay. This is, again, a list of the municipalities that we've provided representation to, and I think I've gone over a lot of those. Again, on this list, there are, I believe, 12 cities of second class, which Gardner is presently a member of, and 10 cities of the first class that we provide representation to. Additional public sector entities, in addition to municipalities, meaning cities and school districts, we also provide representation to other municipal organizations. For example, we represent the Board of Public Utilities in Kansas City, Kansas. I understand the City of Gardner has its own electric utility. There aren't many of those throughout the state of Kansas, I'll tell you. And we've represented the Board of Public Utilities for going on 40 years now. Joe Reardon, as the mayor and CEO of the unified government, obviously has a tremendous amount of experience in dealing with the BPU and in dealing with the laws that are unique to dealing with the utilities and public utilities. All right, and now I'd like to turn it over to Joe to talk about some of his experience and talk to you about some of our philosophies and how we would propose to handle your work for you to select us. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I'm thrilled to be here with McInerney before you tonight. As you all know, I sat as mayor for 8 years and 2 years on the commission at the UG, so I've sat in your chair, and I must tell you that while I'm not in elected office any longer, I just still have a ton of passion for cities. I just think it's where all the action is, and I think it's an amazing job that you do every single time you serve here in a meeting like this evening. I really wanted to make 3 points with you tonight. This law firm offers a team approach to the work that you're going to carry out in your official positions representing the city. We have a depth of experience in a multitude of different areas, and you know municipal law covers all of those areas. There's no single part of municipal law. It really is the kind of thing where you need a team that can dwell in areas like real estate and development, as well as employment law, as well as approaching issues around that are unique to cities, the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act, as Ryan mentioned earlier. And we have that kind of experience at this firm, and it's the thing that we want to be able to share with you as you carry out your duties and your work here. The second thing is that our firm understands the interplay between you working at the local level and having to work and deal with the issues at state level as well. We have the kind of practice where we're dealing with state-level issues, state-level clients. We know that interplay between local government and state government is something that's very critical and important to the success of a body like yours and a city like yours, and we would offer that experience as well. And then finally, personally for me, I spent 8 years at the unified government, and a lot of what I did was work on development agreements and looking at economic development. And we understand the laws behind that, whether it's TIF or CID and all the acronyms that you all know. But we also know the interplay and how important it is for you to have a team of professionals that when you decide to take that step, and you control the policy about what you want to do in economic development, but when you decide to take that step, we've seen those development agreements before. We've seen those individuals and companies come forward and we know that you need to carry